Appartenance, belonging in French with FrenchSpanishOnline.com. In English, the belonging is with the apostrophe and S if it's not a plural, for example, John's book. In French, we have two words. These words are actually de and the other one here, a. There is a difference and there is a rule. That's what we are going to see in this lesson. Let's see first when we have a sentence like this one, a noun, another noun, and in the middle the word de in French. Let's see how. In this sentence in English, John's book, we have two nouns. Book is a noun, John also, and it's also a name. So in French, it works, and we are going to use the word de to translate here the belonging. Le livre de John. We have our noun, our name, and we have here de, le livre de John. So when we have a name or a noun, we use de. Another example, my friend's book. The same thing here, we have book as name and also friends plural. So here we need de. Le livre de mes amis, and mes to translate my. Le livre de mes amis. Okay? More examples. The director's opinion. The same thing here. We have two nouns, so we are going to use de. L'avis or l'opinion du directeur. Here we say du and not de. The reason is with a noun like directeur, which is not a name, we need a definite article. And the definite article, as you know, is here included in du, as du is the contraction of de le. The dog's food, well, now you understand. La nourriture du chien. Again, du and not de. The cow's milk. Le lait de la vache. This time, vache is feminine in French, so we can see here the article la, because there is no contraction in French for de la. Okay, just la. It also works, I mean that we also need the word de when we have this kind of sentence, noun, de in French, and a clause, so another sentence afterwards. Let's take an example. These are the belongings of the ones who left. So here, as you can see, we have two sentences, two verbs. The first part here, these are the belongings of the ones who left, is another sentence or another clause at the end of the sentence. The one who left. So here, how to translate of? Well, for this reason, we are going to follow the same rule, and we use the word de. Ce sont les affaires de ceux qui sont partis. So when you have a clause after of, we use de to translate it. Ce sont les affaires de ceux qui sont partis. Let's see now the second part, when we have a sentence like a noun and a personal pronoun. So in this case, we need the word a. Let's see how. Le livre de John, c'est son livre à lui. We speak like that actually in French when you want to insist. Because actually we have a repetition here. We know that if you say it is son livre, you know it is his book. But sometimes you can add it again at the end of the sentence to insist. C'est son livre à lui. And in this case, here we have a personal pronoun, him in French, lui is here. In this case, we need the small word a pour l'appartenance, for the belonging. C'est son livre à lui. Okay? So you understand that when we have a noun or name, we use de, and when we have a personal pronoun, we use a. More examples. She has a very personal method. Well, here, it's difficult to see where is the belonging, but in French, yes, because it's an expression, different expression, and we say, elle a une méthode bien à elle. So, bien à elle means in French, very personal. And as you can see here, we have the word a, because the meaning is this method belongs to her. Okay, bien à elle. And again, the word a, why? Because we have just after our personal pronoun elle. Okay? And of course, if you want to speak about a guy, for example, il a une méthode bien à lui. Of course, une méthode bien à lui. Okay? Bien à elle, bien à lui, to say very personal. Another example, they haven't got a car of their own. In French, to say of their own, we say of them. So we are going to see, ils n'ont pas de voiture à eux. Eux is, as you know, a personal pronoun. So we need the preposition à. Ils n'ont pas de voiture à eux. Okay? And the meaning is, of course, of. So as you can see here, of is not translated with the word de, but we use a because of the personal pronoun. I'm introducing you to a friend of them. Again, here we have of, but now you can guess because them is a personal pronoun. So we are going here to use a to translate of. Je vous présente un ami à elle. Elle, for example, the girls, so with an S. So here it's a personal pronoun, so the word à. Je vous présente un ami à elle. Of course, as usual, we have some exceptions. First, let's see the difference between these two sentences. Very close actually, but there is a difference. Il veut une photo à elle. The meaning of the sentence is that he wants a photo that belongs to her. Okay? It can be a photo of her dogs, of her house, of a car, anything, but that belongs to her. So, il veut une photo à elle. But now if you say, il veut une photo d'elle, so here we have a contraction because of the vowel here. So, il veut une photo d'elle, the meaning is different. He wants a photo of her. So now, you want a photo of her face, of her body, I think, but of her. So, as you can see the difference here, when you have a, the meaning is the belonging, and de here, and because we have a personal pronoun here, is a photo of her body. Okay, you understand the difference? Because you know that is de, we use it in this lesson for about belonging, we use it when we have a name or a noun, and not for pronoun. So when we have a pronoun like elle here, the meaning is different. Let's take other example. With the verb to be, or être in French, we always use a, never de, when it is about belongings, of course, for nouns and pronouns. So let's see some example. C'est à elle, so here, of course, because elle is a pronoun, so of course we use a, but even when it is a name, c'est à Paul. Paul here is a name, the name of a person. In spite of that, we use a. Okay? Because it's a verb to be. C'est au directeur. So here's the same thing because we have a noun. So we need a definite article. The definite article is included in here because au is the contraction of à le. C'est au directeur. C'est à sa mère. So the same rule. But we have the same difference as before. If you want to use the verb de, it is possible with the verb to be, but the meaning is also different. For example, if you say c'est d'elle, here you mean that this is a representation of her. It may be a picture, a painting, whatever, or this is something she made. For example, if she wrote a book, we can say c'est d'elle. If she paint something, you say c'est d'elle. But of course, it can be a painting about a house, about anything, nothing to do with her, but you can say c'est d'elle in this case. So you see the difference again between c'est à elle, that belongs to her, et c'est d'elle, actually here, it's a representation of her. The same thing with the verb appartenir. appartenir, always use the small word à with nouns and pronouns. Ce livre appartient à John. Here we have a name, but it doesn't follow the first rule we have seen. Here we need the small word à because it's part of the prepositional verb appartenir à. That's why. Okay, and there is actually no de with the verb appartenir. Let's summarize now to know how to translate, what we can use in French actually about belongings. If you want to say John's book, so le livre de John. So now you know that when we have a name, we use de. Name, de, name. Say à John. Okay, so you know that with the verb to be, it's always a preposition à. Say à John. The meaning it belongs to John. Say à lui. So if you want to use a personal pronoun. So here actually we have twice the same rule because you know that with a pronoun we use à and also with the verb to be. Le livre appartient à John. Again, because here we have the verb appartenir, belong, so we need the preposition à. Le livre appartient à John. And just to know, there is nothing to do with this lesson, but just to know it, if you want to replace John with a personal pronoun, you will say le livre lui appartient. Lui here, it's for à lui, so, or à elle. So lui is not just masculine. In this case, yes, but if you want to say le livre appartient à Jessica, for example, a girl, again you will say le livre lui appartient. If you don't remember that, there is a lesson about the pronoun. Okay? So, you can review the lesson. See the website FrenchSpanishOnline.com because actually you have the script of these slides. And if you want more, if you have some commentaries, you can of course drop me some lines. I'll be happy to reply to you. See you next time. C'est fini. Au revoir.